All right, let's dive into it, man. For those you don't know, I'm here with Ben Scott from STC Fit and STC Learn as well. Man, where I want to start with you is what got you into like wanting to coach coaches? Like, I feel like it takes, I mean, I've been doing it for like a decade myself, but it takes a sort of next level person or level of thinking or maybe next level version of crazy as well. But what made you want to like really dive down that pathway?
Like most things in my career, I think I more fell into it than anything else. So we, me and my young, incredibly egotistical self, decided I was going to take on. I told this story recently. I was going to take on Michelle Bridges in a 12-week program at like the peak, bro. Like the Biggest Loser was as big as it's ever been. She was killing it. We were running these weekend boot camps and like women coming in that like I'm only allowed to eat 1,000 calories today, and I have to show on my watch that I've burnt 1,000 calories, and then I can have a cheat meal. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm making my own website. So
Yeah.
we dropped $50,000 in 2015. Like emptied savings accounts, sold cars, like all in, like just put all the chips in the middle. In that 50 grand, we had a $5,000 allocation to marketing, and it was like whatever that made back was just reinvest and let's go. It was $20 a week for 12-week minimum. We made one sale, so we made 240 bucks off a 50K investment. Um, so along the same time as that, there was two dudes in our gym that young guys, passionate about it, had like the fundamentals of being good, but just had no idea, no confidence, no structure around actually getting clients. But we're keen, loved training, liked helping people, all of that kind of stuff. So we took them under our wing a little bit, took them both from handing in their notice to killing it. Then I was like, one plus one equals two. I have this website that I'm now using as a really, really expensive client management tool. I can obviously teach someone else how to build a business because I've been doing it for 5 years. Jason and I at the time were obviously the busiest trainers in the gym, booked out consistently, high demand, all of that. I can pass this on to other people. From the very beginning, like the reason the business is named STC Fitness or Fit was because I always knew that it wasn't going to be just me. And like I used to get shit, I'd put flyers up around the gym and stuff that would always say we on them. People were like, why? I've literally had someone like, why do you write we on everything? It's just you. And I'm like, well, it's not going to be forever.
It's me and my seven personalities.
Yeah, exactly, which I probably had at the time. So I always envisioned it to be bigger than me. I wanted to work with a team forever. So that was kind of like, this ties all of that together. So then 2 years later, we had 17 trainers across like 8 clubs doing 300 PT sessions a week. So that was like PT education, but it was very internal, very us driven, super manual, pre-COVID, no technology, just like paper printouts. Everything was shit and time consuming. Then about 2019, like before the lockdown started, we had probably our 3 best trainers leave in a couple of months. We were pretty cooked just from carrying the emotional load of every trainer that we had underneath us, plus doing 30 sessions each, plus running AIPT, plus all the other stuff that we had going on. So like we have a system here that we can push to the market. Like everything we're teaching takes trainers not just a 50K, but 100K really, really quickly. Like we had guys on 45 sessions in 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like, we can teach this, and if we push it outwards, it's not our responsibility anymore. So we can reach a broader audience, of course. We can have more people in the program than what we can manage as a team. And just that emotional load will be off us a little bit. So that's when we created what is now called Standout PT and went that direction. Yeah, so we were teaching the certain stuff through that time as well, which I think lent into, we've always just been passionate about making the industry better. Like even taking on Michelle Bridges, just like we obviously had grandiose ideas that we could change the whole spectrum of the industry. So being able to help people at any level was really valuable for us, and giving back was always important.
What have you seen as, because this is a massive thing that I've always seen as well, is like what do you see from your perspective are, I mean, I'm sure you could speak all day about this, but maybe like the top 3 biggest problems in the industry with what you see?
Whew. The biggest problems.
And that could be
People aren't. Yes, the biggest one is expectations. I think the biggest one is expectations coming into the industry, thinking it's going to be something it's not. I don't think like the education gap is something. So like your Cert 4 doesn't put you in a position to go be a successful business owner, which is really 90% of the time what you need to make a living out of fitness. And you're not taught that. You're not given the strategies and all of that. So that's probably 2 together. Is the expectations aren't set of what being a personal trainer actually is, which is running a small business, which is very difficult in any industry. Yeah. And then 2, there's a big education gap of being able to actually go into industry and work, which I think is just a hangover from that government funding era that you and I came through, where you could get your cert in 3 months for $900.
Yeah. Something that I see a lot of as well, and I'm sure you see this a lot, is like, there's that education gap, and then there's also this, I suppose, a mindset that coaches and trainers are coming into the industry and they see themselves as a personal trainer. And I mean, I know as well, I know there was a business component in Cert 3-4, and I think last year there's not even a business component in it at all anymore in Cert 3-4. They're completely taking it out. So just to give them even more of a chance of success. But what do you see, like there's obviously that shift there from going from, yes, being a good personal trainer, but then going from being a good personal trainer to being a good business owner as well, and actually be able to grow and develop a business. What do you see is the gap there that most coaches and PTs are, I suppose, challenged by, and that resistance or the blocks that come up along that pathway?
Part of it is just like the fundamental stuff. Like, you don't have business systems, you don't have sales strategies, you don't have just a basic understanding of what it is to run a business. Like, that first year, really all you need is good sales strategies, and you can kind of figure the rest out. Like, technical skill set, you'll need to build and acquire and all of that. But if you can know how to get clients at least, and work with them and communicate well, you'll at least have a paycheck, and then you can get better, because you're coming in with a Cert 4. Like, I'm sorry to any first year that's listening. It's like, you're not good yet. I wasn't. I was fucking basically playing fetch with clients at times. Rolling medicine balls and doing burpees to go get it and shit.
Yeah, I say this about imposter syndrome a lot. Like, a lot of coaches and trainers are like, oh, like, I have imposter syndrome. And I'm like, if you're in your first 2 years of coaching, you fucking deserve to have imposter syndrome. Like, you're simply, you're not good enough yet. You're really not. You don't have the skill set, and you deserve it. If you're like a few years in, or like 3 years, 5 years, 10 years in, and you've got imposter syndrome, then it's probably a mindset thing. But if you've got it in your first couple of years, you're simply just not good enough.
Yeah, and like, it's hard, because like, what does not good enough mean? Because yes, I was like, part of my workout was rolling a medicine ball, and you went from a prone position, chased it, and threw it back at me. That's not good personal training / coaching in our idea, right, of what that looks like. The clients fucking loved it. The clients lost centimeters. The clients lost weight. I had a 99% hit rate on my monthly check-ins in my first year. It's like, so I knew enough to get better and progress. And I think it's important, like, yes, have imposter syndrome, because you can be infinitely better than that, but also not to a point where it's going to stop you, because the only way you can get better is train lots of people. And that's why I'm so passionate about, like, you need to know how to make phone calls, do consults, and do sales. Because if you're doing 40 sessions a week for 52 weeks a year versus doing 10 sessions a week for 52 weeks a year, who's getting better?
Yeah.
So you have to back yourself enough that you know more than the client that's in front of you. You are aware that you have a long way to go, but you need to be in front of as many people as you possibly can.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious, man. Like, if you you mentioned that 50 grand at the start of the call. If you were to do that, if you were at the start of your career again and you had that 50 grand again, like, what would you do differently with it?
Oh, not set it on fire. Um, I'd probably learn 2015. I'm wondering if meta ads were there yet. If they were, 1,000% ads.
If you-
1,000% ads. There they would have been, because she would have been selling through that. So yeah, ads. Paid marketing, 100%.
So instead of 5 grand into marketing, how much of it would you allocate to marketing?
I would have, I guess then you need the management software. But yeah, if I could find a way even just to deliver what we were delivering, spreadsheets and all of that, in a model and just invest in paid ads, that's what I would want to spend the money on. But I probably didn't have the infrastructure to sell anything useful either.
Yeah. What would you What would you like if a young coach or trainer came to you and they said they had 50 grand and it wasn't going to rob them or anything like that? Like, they literally had 50 grand to allocate towards their own investment, like in today's age, and they're sort of newish as well. They don't know a whole lot around marketing. They don't necessarily know how to their niche and copy and creatives and all that type of stuff to actually be able to do it. Like, where would you get them to start? Or even if it was 20 grand, where would you get them to start?
Hire help, hire mentors, and refreshing myself on that question. That's what I would have done. I would have paid people that are killing it. So at the time we were looking up to Ben Pekulski and those guys. I would have thrown that money at him.
Just on this, man. It's actually, I mean, back in 10 years ago, there wasn't that many people in the education space, in the health and fitness industry, and it was very easy to find good people. And now it's fucking flooded. Every man and his dog that is a PT mentor or a business mentor or a online fitness coach mentor, or there's, and they've had 12 clients, some of them. So. And a big thing.
I promise we've really turned over $10 million. I promise.
But it was easier back then for us, and I was very blessed to find some fucking incredible mentors very early on in my career that completely shaped how I grew things and worked with people and mentor coaches and everything like that. But how does someone these days, I call it having a good bullshit filter of who's a good mentor and who's not. How do you figure that out these days with how many people are out there posting content? And
proof that they've done it, and for me is still doing it. So if, in my opinion, and this, take myself for an example because it's the easiest to talk about. The number one thing that people say to us when we come into consults is they want to work with Jason and I because we still have clients. We still coach. We still get exceptional results with our clients. Not only that, we have a team of 6 other coaches that are all doing it, gym floor, online, across the board. We're in the industry. We're still doing the thing. We have it checked out. And then my opinion is if you're a business coach and you had a business in fitness, I want to see the sale of that business, or I want to see how you put it under management. Because if you're walking around being I'll teach you how to make $5 grand a week, and you're not, and you couldn't get to the point where someone else could do it for you, or you could expand a team, or you could manage it, or I manage my online clients in 10 hours a week. It's not hard. So that would be the filter that I would put that through. To answer your question, I would hire people that have done what you want to do, that are further ahead of you. Leverage that time. We actually shifted not even our messaging, our actual product, with our mentoring program, with the intent that it seems to be that the market has shifted from just face-to-face. Like, there's not enough status in that. There's not enough freedom in that. You're kind of pinned, and people don't value face-to-face as much as they do anymore, which is fine. Like, I'm not going to do what you want to do. The problem is running an online business is even harder. So half of what we're doing now is getting people to the point where they can actually, like, the metric for us is like, can you run ads? And that's not like, do you know how to open Ads Manager and boost a post and spend some money? It's like, do you have a business that is actually worthy of putting spend behind it, pumping leads in, doing the sales, acquiring clients, keeping them, getting results? Like, do you actually have all of this on lock before you start throwing money at it? And then we go and learn how to run all that stuff. So if I had 20 to 50 grand, or if a personal trainer had that, that's exactly what I would be doing. Mm-hmm. Is my business efficient and effective enough both for me and for my clients to be in a position that I can actually turn that dial up to acquire the clients that I want at the speed that I want in the volume that I want?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I feel like a lot of PTs like try and skip bases as well. Like we're talking about before, like this already set up for failure from the start. But also, like, they're trying to skip bases in the sense of going online too soon before they've even learned how to sell, for example, before they've even had like a full book of clients and got like experience under their belt. Because I suppose it's like there's the initial selling of the industry of like you can have a 100K business and everything like that. And then the next lie that's sold to a lot of PTs is it's easy to go online and you can have freedom and you can live this laptop lifestyle. Yeah. But yeah, people don't realize when you do online well, it takes probably just as much time as your face-to-face stuff as well. But they're sold this lie that that's going to be the next thing, and they're like, it's like shiny object syndrome. They go from like being in person to then going online and doing these things rather than actually building their foundations of what they need to be good at as well. And that's what I was going to say before as well around the mentors that they have. Like you were talking about like proof that people have actually done it. And a lot of coaches in the industry are just relying on their PTM. And this is, I sort of shit on PTMs a little bit. Don't take it personally if you are one. But essentially, like, if it's the same thing, maybe like there is probably the outlier of PTMs that had a successful business and then really just wanted to help PTs. But I would say 99% of them couldn't build a successful PT business, so they went into PTMing. It's like if they had a successful business and were doing $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 a week, there's no way they would have taken an $80,000 salary to even step into a PT.
$2,000 a week, man. Like,
yeah,
it's like $25-$30 an hour. You're not moving away from $100, $150, $200 an hour on the floor to take $30 if you have enough clients.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it's almost the blind leading the blind, because their PTMs are trying to show these PTs how to build a successful business based on a model that they were running that they couldn't be successful in themselves. And it's like, what's going to give these coaches and trainers a chance to actually build the business that they want? Because it's much bigger than that. It's for them to build the life that they want and have the impact. Like, they got in this industry to actually do something and help people and impact people. And there's things that get in the way of them actually being able to do that because they're not set up for success.
Yeah, I think to go on the other end of that too, the people that are telling them that it's easy, that you're looking up to, they've probably got to the point where it's like, I've kind of clocked my stuff. There's more dollar per minute in mentoring and coaching than there is coaching my clients. So I'm going to move towards this business coaching model because it's the next step. And they did it, but they did it 5 years ago. Mm. And man, the shit that we could do 5 years ago to get clients that we can't do now.
Yeah.
If you're a new personal trainer, especially if you're online space, we used to have apps that you could follow 100 people a day and it would do it for you. You just go find someone that's an account like you, and guess what? 70% of them would follow you back. It was ridiculous. Yeah. And then you had 70 people to DM and talk to about coaching. To get 70 people now, like some people are paying $700,000 in ads just to have those same numbers of people to talk to.
Yeah.
So what happens is I built my online business. I went online full time in 2019. I had 6 clients that I took to a powerlifting competition and a bikini pageant. All 6 of them did both a month apart. They posted everywhere. They were strong as shit. They looked unreal, and they were tagging me in content all the time. I still have 6 girls that are consistently on my stories showing what I'm capable of as a coach and being aspirational for the people I work with. I built that off posting 3 times a week and posting information. Now I'm posting 11 times a week and trying to entertain and be layered and fucking have a videographer and blah, 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 blah. And then that person comes out and says, well, what I did was I just posted more. So then the coach with 100 followers is like, I just need to post more. And they go out and post more and wonder why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I think the speed at which the industry is shifting, and it's almost like you almost can't blame the coaches, because I've had to sit back and just be like, why are Jason and I getting a lead a week? And someone who I think, honestly, like, I don't think I'm good at content. Like, there's a lot of people coming through our program that are better at content than me that aren't getting the same results. Why is that? Is it because I have a podcast and a big brand? Is it like, what's the gap? And I think the gap really is just proof. So when you're saying like people are jumping bases, the day you decide to become an online coach, if you want to coach women that want to look good and train on a barbell, I'm your competitor. 15 years experience, $10 million turned over in fitness, 30,000 check-ins, 30,000 face-to-face sessions. I don't even know how many transformation results I could pull up. That's who you're playing with now. Like, and I'm not saying that I'm to be a dick. I think I'm very good at my job, but you've just put yourself in the arena with me.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Come and get me. Like, let's go. I'm about it. I'll help, man. There's enough for us all to eat. I'm not saying there's not, but it's a different level. It's not, there's 10 trainers in my big box gym with 4,000 members that I can pick up a phone call and literally get a client tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a different game.
What do you think is the impacts of, I've been talking to PTs a lot about this probably in the last 12 months. I could literally, so it's like, what's going to create the next level of coach in the industry? Because I could literally like grab my phone and be like, I share this story with PTs and they just look at me. They're like, holy fuck, AI is coming for me, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, it fucking is. I'm like, I could pick up my phone and say, hey, Claude, I'm looking to train 4 times a week. I want you to build me out like a split body routine, upper and lower. I want you to base it on, obviously it depends on how much people know, but I want you to base it on, say, Matt Wenning style training. And I want to train 4 times a week. I want you to put in my steps and everything like that. I want you to design me a food plan. My goal is I'm like currently 100 kilos. I want to get down to 90 kilos. I want to be lean and athletic and strong at the same time. So I want to eat 3 times a day as well, making sure my protein's really high. Let's set like 1.5 grams per kilo of body weight. I want to eat whole foods. I want to eat like as good as I can. I want to eat organic, whatever it is. Can you design me a meal plan? Can you give me a grocery list so when I go shopping on Sunday that I have that grocery list there for me, and I have a meal prep plan day on Sunday as well, so I'm organized for the whole week. And then with my training days, can you give me a bit of a guideline around my sleep routine as well, and how much sleep I should be getting, what time I should be getting to bed, and what time I should be waking up? And can you, even now with Claude Coke, and now can you go into my Google Calendar and can you plug all of that in for me and set reminders for me of when I should eat, the times that I should train, so I have accountability around that also, to be able to put all that together in a nice like format and a guideline for me, and send it to me and put it on my calendar. and it'll just print out this whole like guideline, this whole thing of everything. And I'm just like, see, like this is what AI is doing. If all you do is developing programs, all you're doing is developing programs and developing food plans, and that's all you're doing for your clients, like AI has already taken over your job.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And then if you're a PT listening to this and you're thinking like, yeah, but clients don't know that, they can literally just say, I want to lose 10 kilos. Ask me everything you need to know to make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every question that Nick just said it's there now all of a sudden. So I think what you're asking is like what separates
like
the
how
ones that are going to survive and not.
Yeah, like how like how does a coach have to evolve to stay ahead of AI? Because it's like someone's going to be like, why am I going to pay a PT $100 a week or whatever they're charging when I could be paying Claude $0 or maybe $20 a month to get everything that I need?
So it's really interesting. I was like, coming onto this podcast, I was like, Nick has such a different like view of how he does things. Like you mentioned while we're away, like no personal trainers understand or even can tell you what all the muscles in the shoulder are, what they do, what they're on. Like, I don't fucking know any of that. I've done okay. And I was like, what's the connection there? What's the gap that you feel? My impression of that is there is a percentage of the market that really care about high technical input, whether it's because they're injured, whether it's because whatever reason it is. And they're like, when Nick speaks, he says really smart shit, and I either can or I can't understand it, but I know he knows what's going on, and I really fucking value that. And I have that personality too. And all of those are going to be super drawn to you, and they'll be loyal to you, and they'll tell everyone about you. What that really is like niching and messaging.
Yeah.
Thomas Lilly has literally got ads running at the moment that says, I specifically don't understand how the shoulder works, but I have like probably the top 10 totals in Australia, and I think at one point he had 150 online clients. So it's like his messaging and branding is like, we're not going to worry about all of that. We're just going to follow a program, lift heavy weights, and you'll get better. And some people like that. So the short answer to your question is people need a reason to work with you as the individual, and what people think is technical, 9 times out of 10 is actually personality based. So I watched a coach blow up recently that was like shitting on everyone making content and content being more important than actually coaching people. And he obviously did one post about it and it blew up. Then there was 10. And I was like, brother, can you see what's happened here? Like, you've got a positive feedback loop that, hey, when I put this out, lots of people bought into it, and now I'm going to keep putting more of it out. You're just positioning yourself as the anti that. You're like positioning yourself as the anti-content creator while creating content. So it's like you're still executing exactly the same thing. So that's what it is. It's position, message, it's having a point of difference. And then more than all of that, the thing that AI can't offer just yet is real human connection.
Yeah.
So your ability to communicate, your ability to coach, your ability to make people feel, AI can't do that yet.
Yeah.
So those two things combined will be the separators.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I talk about injury so much, is because that's another thing that AI can't do. AI can't grab someone's shoulder and start getting it moving better and be able get them out of pain, essentially. Like that's something that AI also can't do, and it's something that why I'm so passionate about that area, like myself, is because, I mean, I could walk the gym floor and talk to, let's say there's 50 people on the gym floor. I could talk to all 50 of them, and I could ask them a question like, are you either experiencing injury or a niggle, not necessarily an injury, but like a pain or a niggle or something going on? Are you experiencing one now, or have you in the past? And I reckon 95% of them will say yes. Yeah. And as a coach, you either want to have that skill set so you can help clients with that, or you need to refer out. And my philosophy is every time you refer out, every time you refer out, you're essentially throwing money out the door. And I learned this from a painful place, though. I used to refer out all the time. And then I got to a stage where I was referring out and my clients weren't getting fixed to the level that I needed them to be, especially working with high-level athletes. And they needed to be on the field. I'm like, they're not fucking getting fixed. I'm just going to fucking learn how to do this myself because the job's not getting done. That's why I went down that path. But you're right as well. Like as long as you... Like, clients essentially don't care what they're doing. They really don't. They just want to know and have trust in you that you're going to take them to their point B. You're going to take them to their end goal. They don't care if they're running, if they're doing Pilates, if they're doing strength training, if they're doing fucking high rocks. They really don't care what the method is. They just want to know that it's going to be the thing that gets them to their end goal. And,
especially in the face-to-face environment.
Yeah, and you've just got to have certainty that what you do is going to be the path that gets in there, because certainty is contagious as well. And I feel like that's probably a missing piece for a lot of coaches. They don't have the knowing and the certainty in themselves that I'll get you there. Like, even if you weren't amazing at sales, if you had absolute certainty in what you do, then a client would just be like, fuck, you just want to follow certainty. It's like this thing that you just get drawn to. They'll just follow you anyway.
And that's like, I think that's where people draw. And I was thinking about this morning while I was in the gym because I knew this was coming. One thing that I have a little bit of trouble like getting my head around with these conversations, and I need to preface what I'm about to say with this. I spent the first 8 at least years almost solely invested in becoming the best personal trainer I could. The next however many years after that, I'm 15 years in, so 7 years after that, was getting my method so clear that I could actually teach it to someone else and there could be 20 of me. So I am heavily invested in being really good at your job. But I see so many coaches failing because they're so focused on being good at their job and not enough on everything else.
Yes.
So they get let down because they think they have to be as technically skilled as I am at writing programs for strength and body composition. So when they go into that consult, they're not convinced themselves that they have the skill set to deliver the outcome, which then they struggle. And then it's like, well, then they get that feeling, if I am a little bit more confident because I learned something from a podcast on the weekend or whatever, then I go, and this is me for a really long time. I was like, no, I'm good now. And then every time I'd learn something more, I'm like, no, I'm good now. Like pay me, I'm good. Yeah. And it just like allows you to get that confidence. But what you really, like you said, if you can step out of it and like look at, say, the average big box gym, there's a bodybuilding coach. They're probably high rocks, not CrossFit now. There's a high rocks coach. There's a powerlifting coach. There's an S&C coach. And then there's like general fat loss coach. All the people walking through the door are the same.
Yeah.
They all want to get fit, tone up. It's been the same story for 20 years.
Yeah.
So the vehicle that they choose to pursue, no one's walking into Good Life Health Club to become a national level powerlifter.
No.
I made a lot of them, but they didn't walk in the door wanting that. It was like, this is the vehicle we're going to use to achieve the goals that you have. And then, hey, just by the way, did you know what you just did in the gym would have placed at the States on the weekend? Would you like to go compete? Oh, yeah, that sounds awesome. So, again, being attached to your model, being attached to the skill set too much can actually draw you away from, depending on what your determination of success is, being successful as a personal trainer. 9 times out of 10, I think you would have seen this enough in your time, people don't leave the industry because they have a skill set deficiency. They leave because they don't make enough money.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. What do you think is the... Because I think the thing that came first was like skill set mentoring and teaching and courses, and then came all the business stuff to be able to actually show people how to monetize their skill set. Because there's people that, I mean, I still see it. I mean, there's like... I'm fucking good at what I do, but there's people that are way better, like that I would see as more have a better understanding of the body, more intellectual, and they're still, in my eyes, don't have a successful business, and in their eyes probably aren't as successful as they would be or would like to be. But what's the other thing that I see is like this whole, it's like what we were talking about earlier as well, this whole like shift into actually seeing themselves as a successful person. So I'm curious to ask you personally first, before we go into like talking about it with coaches, is like, who have you had to become along the way, along your journey, to actually step into like bigger and bigger levels of success and be able to take on more and more, go from being a successful PT to having successful coaches to being a successful mentor? Who have you had to become along the way to keep evolving yourself and keep growing?
Yeah. It's a big question because there's lots of stages, right? So I spent the first 3/4 of my career doing it with a chip on my shoulder, with like a I'll fucking show you kind of attitude. Like that model that I said we had 20 trainers, 300 sets, like I got told by 3 different managers that that'll never work. And I was like, double fingers, let's go. Like that was my attitude for most of it. And it works really well. Being angry is like pretty motivating. It's just really fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
Then we got to a stage, I feel like it was around COVID times, where we used to do this values exercise a lot. So write down your top 10 core values. What do you care about? What are you doing well? What are you not doing well? If you have never done it, go do it. It's fucking awesome. I got it from a performance psychologist. Trust me, it's great. Jason and I always had work ethic. Always. Yep. And it was always box ticked. There's no question about how hard we work. And it was just one day that we were both just like, we're not doing as well as we should. The time we're putting in, the resources we're putting out, the emotional energy, the investment, all of that's just like, this isn't doing what it should be doing. So we changed work ethic to impact. And that sounds kind of small, but in terms of like who I had to become, that's a big change. That's not looking at the world as how much can I do, and it's starting to like the big question of am I valuable? We'll say valuable instead of love because it makes people uncomfortable. Am I valuable for what I do or who I am? And do I see myself as valuable for who I am or what I do? Now we're like impact. Impact comes from yourself. How can I impact this hour, this time, this person, this industry? That was a really big shift. Then I had a kid, and that changed everything. Yeah. Because it was like, all right, I'm not angry anymore, and I don't want to work all hours all the time. I'm not available between 8 and 9 a.m. I'm not available between 5:30 and 8 o'clock, and I'm not available on the weekends because he's more important than you. Sorry. So that then changed again of like, okay, what does that look like now? Who am I now in that space? And it was, again, just more stepping into impact being the biggest focus, but coming from a place of like, there's fulfillment in service, not I have to prove something.
How do you communicate that? Because that's a very powerful message and a very powerful lesson. How do you communicate that to like coaches that are still in that work ethic, still in that, because it's a industry conditioning too. Like even just look at the successful coach in the industry is the coach doing 40, 50, 60 sessions a week is what we determine as successful. Yeah. So how do you get that message across to people that haven't necessarily experienced the consequence of hustle and grind and the impact that has on them? Like, what would you share?
Yeah. I'm a really big believer, and I've been pushing this a lot, even just with like teaching coaches. You have to only help people who want to be helped. So everyone's upset about peptides right now or AI right now. It's like, if you're upset about them stealing your clients, be better. Like, your niche is wrong.
Yeah.
You're not trying to help people who want to be helped in your space. So the conversation needs to be the persona we're trying to embody as business coaches, as mentors, is the big brother attitude.
Yeah.
To be able to look at someone and be like, dude, I see where you are right now. I've been there and I fucked it up. Let me help. But you have to be ready to hear that, because me at 25 would have probably told you to fuck off. Like, I don't care, bro. You're an animal and that's how you got here. Which is also true. It's also admitting, I was at a workshop, I won't name who the coach was, international, prolific coach, cost me $6,000 to go for the weekend. Got up there and told us, like, take mushrooms and meditate in the morning. And I was like, bro, I have seen you chew through your fucking headphones in a workout on a leg curl. I know you have demons deep inside you. I've heard you bark when you train. I've seen you. That's not how you got here. Can you get to where you are with this new chill, calm energy that you have as a dad, and like you're 40? And he was like, fuck, maybe not. So I'm not going to talk someone out of that, but I want to be able to identify when it's costing them. So what's the cost of this? So we'll have a lot of the time, like in our Q&A sessions in particular, where it's just about highlighting, so what you're doing is all of this, and the outcome of that is Y, when really you could just do this and you would get X that's actually closer to what you want in terms of goals. So what are you actually attaching to all of that work?
Yeah.
That, for most people, is enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
To at least think about it and just be like, well, fuck, why am I... Does that work even generate income? Does it do anything that helps me?
And it plants a seed. It plants a seed that maybe it's not an epiphany in that moment. For some people it is, and they're just like, holy shit, like, what the fuck have I been doing for the last year, 2 years, or 6 months, or 5 years? And for some people it plants a seed and they just start stewing on it for a day or a week or a month, and they just get to this point of just like, holy shit, like, I can't handle any more of this. But that's it. Also,
I think there's also somewhere in between where it's, you just start seeing your work differently.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And how do you, because this is a big thing that I see around the industry, is we're so focused on, and this is some amazing conversations that I'm having with people on this podcast as well, is we're so focused on the physical transformation. But as a human, we're essentially like what's called a cybernetic system, meaning we're a system of systems. We're not just physical. A lot of people would have heard the saying is that we're a spiritual being in having a human experience. But a cybernetic system means we're physical, we're mental, we're emotional, and we're spiritual. So many people are so heavily, coaches are so heavily focused on the physical, because it's what our whole industry is revolved around, is creating physical transformation, whether that be strength, whether it be weight loss, whether it be anything like that. So how do you get, say, coaches to step out of that physical and actually start seeing themselves as mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like, what success do I want to create for myself, or what life do I want to create for myself, and start getting them to see the other areas of life and other areas of the industry rather than just the physical side?
Yeah, so just to make sure I know what you're asking is, like, when we're talking about physical in terms of coaching, that's like getting outcomes, making money.
Yeah, it's like, that's like sessions, money, all that type of stuff. But then the other, like, the things that are behind that, obviously.
Yeah, so the core value stuff is a really important place to start. And it's tricky because I think my experience is most people are actually the inverse of that, where they're so attached to a story they're telling themselves about being successful that they hide from it for whatever reason. So it's like, oh, but if I'm not just doing the physical job if I let myself be successful or earn more money or get rewarded for it in a way it'll conflict with this value that I have of being really, really good technical coach, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And anything that may compromise that is the end of the world. So I'd need to spend 3 hours to write a brand new program that if I held it up to the other client I wrote last week, it's the fucking same. So how do I get you out of physical and then thinking about that values exercise? Honestly, where I would start.
Yeah.
Then what we do is like 3 6 12 month goals are kind of, they're always going to fall into arbitrary sessions, this, that. My favorite one, and what we do a full workshop on, is the 3 year.
Yeah.
Because 5 years kind of feels a little bit too far away. We still do it, but I think 3 years is the sweet spot where that whole 90-minute workshop is, who are you becoming?
Mm.
And it's not, there's money in there and what car are you going to drive and all that kind of shit, but it's, who are your friends? What are your habits? What are your characteristics? What do you care about? How do you spend your free time? Who's around while you're making this money? Who's it with? What did you do to earn it? All of those types of things. So that's a really valuable exercise, is what would my perfect life look like in 3 years? Because it gives you enough time to kind of wish and wonder and dream.
Yeah.
Then ask the question, who would I need to become to do that?
Yeah.
That will change how your inner decision-making processes and how you tie your values into that will then change how you execute on a daily basis.
Yeah, I love that question, because a lot of people go into like, what do I need to do in order to achieve that? But the thing that I share with people all the time, and it always catches them out, is like when you ask the question in that, even if you write down your 3 year goals and you ask the question, who do I need to become in terms of like the traits and the characteristics and the things that I need to embody, it's like the next question that I ask people is there anything stopping you being that person right now today? And everyone's like, no. I'm like, okay, so you can be that person today. And they're like, yes. I'm like, cool. So what would happen? What would shift in your reality if you showed up as that person every single day for yourself, for your business, for your relationships, for your clients? What would shift? And they'd be like, everything. I'm like, cool. So this is when you start realizing that, I mean, this is like getting woo-woo and everything like that, but the way you achieve your 3 year goal is you show up as that person now. Yeah, and then your 3D reality is a lot slower. So one of my mentors said this is like, remember your future and prophesize it and be in it. And then you have to like consistently show up in that energy of being that person and you're not becoming that person, you're being that person every single day. And then you just need to be patient enough for your future to show up.
Yeah. So we encapsulate that as the be, do, have principle.
Yeah.
And if you're a personal trainer and you're like, Nick said woo woo, I'm out. Let me explain it to you this way from a bro. You don't become a powerlifter on the powerlifting platform. You don't become a bodybuilder on the stage. Yeah. You put in years of work and then a very hyper-specific prep to lead to that outcome. You don't become that thing once you stand on it. You don't start tracking food and measuring meals and doing cardio and all of that when you get on stage. You have to do that for an extended period of time and embody that person to then step on stage to be the bodybuilder. The same goes for all the areas you just said: business, life, relationships, friendships, relationship with self. Like, yeah. If you have the spiritual pathway, all of that, you have to do the same thing: is start being it, be the person, do what they do, and then you'll have what they have.
Yeah, I like to explain this in the way like that relates a lot more to coaches. Is like, if you think about training for most coaches and PTs or eating healthy food, it's not something they do, it's who they are. Like, if you're a coach and you're obsessed with the gym and have been for years, it's the reason why you got into this industry in the first place. But if you're so, like, your routine and your ritual is that you train 4 days a week, if you miss a day, you're like, I'm not fucking being myself. Like, this isn't who I am. It's like, training isn't something you do, it's who you are. And that's like another way to explain it to people. It's like, so how do you cultivate that same energy in your business. Whereas like doing marketing and calling leads isn't something you do. It's who you are because you've identified as a business owner, not just a personal trainer and a coach.
Yeah, 1000%.
The last thing I want to go into is like, what are the problems or gaps or things that you can see to be improved on the other side of the industry, which is I see two sides. There's like the S&C PT coaching side, and then there's like to create like a holistic framework. Then there's a rehab side of allied health professionals and everything like that. And there's outliers of that too. Like I know there's like nutritionists and mindset coaches and all these things that make up the health and fitness industry. Based on your experience in working with coaches and everything like that, on the allied health pro side, as a PT and as a coach and as a mentor of PTs, what's your view of that area of the industry, and what do you see can be improved, or what do you see as a PT is like the problems?
We have put some osteos, physios, etc. We have created trust funds for a handful of their kids, because when we find a good one, it's like everyone goes here.
Yeah.
Like I'll drive an hour and 20 minutes. It makes no sense. I'll drive an hour and 20 minutes to see someone get treated and then sit in the car for an hour and 20 and be like, shit, when I get home anyway. It's so easy to separate yourself in that space. And even like I've like mentored a few people in that space, and the first thing I said was just like, go and treat 30 personal trainers for free and give them a really good service. Have a look at their program, have a look at how they move, integrate what they're doing in the gym with what you're doing, help them get better at the thing they're trying to do. You will be booked out.
Yeah.
Because most personal trainers don't have the skill set that you do and need to refer out. And there's very, very rarely a two-way street in that relationship.
Yeah.
Either the trainer doesn't communicate well enough, or is like butthurt because the physio said to change an exercise, or the physio/osteo doesn't respect the personal trainer enough to be like, hey, I can see what you're trying to do here with these exercises, but maybe just if you switch them to this, it's going to, because of X, Y, Z, your client will get better results and they'll be happy and everyone wins. So, yeah, I think there's obviously a market of, I can see the challenge from an allied health perspective where 90%, 99% of the people that you see don't do their fucking rehab. And I'm sure that is the allied health industry's biggest gripe, is like, oh, they fucking don't do it anyway.
Yeah.
You've literally got someone that can make them do it.
Yes. Yeah.
So take the opportunity to look at everything holistically and create an environment where someone's actually going to enforce that for you. Go that extra 5 minutes per client, communicate with the trainer. You'll be the most successful allied health person in your area instantly.
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest things, is that coaches and allied health pros are trying to compete with each other rather than collaborate with each other. Because allied health pros have, majority of them, this is me generalizing as well, have no idea what to do on the gym floor. Like it's not their area of expertise, and PTs and coaches look up to allied health pros as like they know more than me. But trust me, if you get on the gym floor and compare your knowledge with their knowledge, they have no idea. Yeah. And it goes the other way around. Like they're an expert in their area and you're an expert in your area. It goes both ways. Like I built my whole business 2 times around on just referrals from allied health pros, because I wasn't in a big box gym. I was working out at like a private gym essentially, and I built my business just from referrals, like just like what you're saying. The other way around though, as a PT, I'd go to allied health pros and I'd be like, I'm really good at working out what's going on. I can work out like why people have shoulder pain and hip pain and back pain, but I don't have the hands-on skills to be able to fix a lot of this stuff. So I want someone in my corner who I can trust to refer clients to. And then through building that relationship with them, they would send me clients because they're like, fuck, Nick really cares about his clients and how he looks after them and takes care of them. So I'm going to send him more clients as well. So it goes the other way around for PTs and coaches as well. Like allied, I think we were talking about this in Koh Samui as well. Allied health pros look down upon PTs. They like shit on them. They're like, but if you're someone that, the thing that their clients don't get, like you say, is that accountability. And they don't get someone that actually cares about their rehab and takes them through. So if you do that, you become an asset to an allied health professional. Mm-hmm. And then that's the thing, just like the PT industry is flooded, like the allied health pro industry is flooded as well. And that's why you said when you stand out, it's very easy. One thing that will help them stand out is if they've got a coach that they can refer to and they're not just leaving people to their own devices. If they've got a coach that they can refer to that is essentially looked like as a part of their team, not someone separate, but someone as part of the team because your relationship is that close with them, then you'll allow, like you become part of their point of difference. Yeah. And if you can communicate that to an allied health professional and build that relationship with them, build that connection with them, they will send you leads all day long. And you only need to do that with 2 or 3. I had a clinic of 20 osteos that I built a relationship with, and they would send me, like, all their osteos would send me referrals and everything. It's like, you only need one clinic and you fucking be booked out as well.
Yeah, it can be that easy. Yeah.
So last piece is like, if you look at both of those areas, what do you think is the missing piece of both of them? So you've got those two worlds, the rehab side, and if they're working together, then, and there's a client in those areas and they're getting support in both of them and they're not getting results. It's like, what do you feel like is the missing piece there? What is it where they're not both coming together to actually get someone to their goal? In your experience?
When that's happened for me, it's usually because either side doesn't have enough knowledge to get to the problem effectively, or there's no communication between the two. So the best people I've worked with, I send my client with what I think's going on, and openly, like, the short answer to your question is ego. I will send my client with their program and say, hey, I need you to ask your physio. I've got a girl right now who's got like a hamstring tendonitis. I don't know where you're at in terms of your recovery, what positions are going to piss this off, what's working for it. You're also a Muay Thai fighter and kicking shit every day. So I don't know where we need to be for like load, volume, intensity on this right now. So when you go to your physio, I need them to look at your program and I need feedback. All of that feedback, unfortunately, has only been through my client.
Yeah.
If I get an email, hey, this is where we're at, this is where we're going 6 weeks from now, this is where mate, you're it to me. And I know physios would want a trainer to be able to be like, here's what we're doing. I'm open to changing anything based on your feedback.
Yeah.
So it's the ego on both sides of like, this fucking meathead personal trainer doesn't know what he's doing. And then like, this physio is not going to tell me how to write programs. It's both of those things locking heads and not wanting to be collaborative, I think is where most of those relationships break down. And then the client doesn't get the outcome.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome, man. I've appreciated this. I love talking about the industry. Good things about the industry and shitting on the industry as well, because we've been in it for so long at the same time.
Yeah. We're just old and bitter.
Anything else that you would share with like, just to finish on, is there anything that you would share with a coach coming through, or like even if you were to start over again as a young coach, like what would you share with yourself to get to the level that you want to be in a shorter amount of time? Or get there as quickly as possible? What advice would you share?
I'm going to share two, because the first one sounds like I'm trying to sell myself. But get help. You don't have to figure out everything on your own. Like, I've put years of work into projects and turned around and been like, oh, they're doing the same thing. And I thought I was so fucking clever that I came up with it myself. So go and get help. It's the fastest way to skip everything. You are a personal trainer. You're helping people move from A to B faster than they would by themselves. Back that whole concept and do it for yourself within your own business.
Yeah.
The second thing I would say is I don't know if we're really in the most uncertain economic time ever, or we just hear about it more, so it feels like we are because of the fucking thing in our pockets. There will always be ways to win in our industry. If you buy into all the ways you won't win, you won't. If you start looking for all the ways that you can, like in the middle of this conversation, us versus AI, us versus fuel prices, us versus the impending inflation that's going to come with those fuel prices, I'm not going to lose any clients. I don't know if you are, but I'm really confident I won't, because the level of priority coaching is for my clients, I'm going to be fine. So, yeah, just be exceptional. Train people that really help people that want help. Be really good at it, and it won't matter what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really key piece is to be so valuable that your clients don't want to let you go. Because if you haven't built that value, then a lot of people, like the first thing they start letting go of is a PT. If you haven't built that relationship and connection with them and built that value in them, if you have, it'll be the last thing they let go of.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and the only thing I would add to that is, or you're working with people who don't.
Yeah.
Because you're afraid of aiming for it's not even a better client, a client that prioritizes your service more.
Yeah. Cool, man. Anything you have going on? Like, where can these guys find you? I'll tag you in the description and everything as well. Where can these guys find you?
Yeah. Just head to my Instagram, so Ben Scott STC. You'll find everything from there. You'll find our podcast, the website, programs, everything.
Awesome, man. Thanks for this. It's been awesome. Glad to have you on. And
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, man.